This video is everything about the globalization and the Indian economy. I would be making it parts similar to the previous episodes, but as of now, we'll be concentrating more on the globalization and the Indian economy. The previous chapters which you have seen, I hope you understood them clearly. This is a very basic topic which we are discussing. Next, we are going to class 11. That is where the main topics or foundations we need to discuss. We'll be talking about globalization there also. That is more of an advanced level. This is more of a basic level. So let's start. So basically, what is globalization? We have to discuss that. But before that, we should know what are MNCs. MNCs are called multinational corporations. Multinational corporations. What are these? Basically, what they will be doing is their company is not located only in single country. Multinational. So, research will be done at USA, production will be done at China, assemble and they'll sell at multiple locations. UK, Canada, India, America, China, everywhere they'll sell. And customer care will be in India. So if you observe, their process of production of a goods or service is not located or limited to only one country. There are multiple countries involving in this. So what is the result? 50 to 60% cost saving to the company. How this happens? Let's discuss that. I didn't write that, but we have to discuss that. So production will be across countries, as I told you. USA research will be very good, which means that you find better scholars, you find better people there. Production in China, due to public policy there, is very cost effective. This cuts around 10 to 20%. And then selling here, there are people who will buy with uh, huge money. For example, if I sell a Tata car in UK, it gives Tata a profit of 25%. The same car sold in India might not give 25%, it might give only 10%. So people will always strive to sell in USA, UK, Canada, Australia, or these places where the market demand or the people who spend money in the market are richer compared to normal countries like India and all. Hope you understood the concept. Customer service in India, as India prioritized the tertiary sector, customer care service or any other service in India will be easier. Now we are also concentrating on manufacturing sector. So people are ready to invest in India. That is the reason people are ready to invest in India. So this altogether saves 50 to 60%. For example, if they put everything in USA, production, very heavy cost, customer care, very high salaries they should give. And then also maybe if they want to assemble also there only, and they cannot sell to one, they can sell only in USA. This kind of a production will cost them hefty amounts compared to this diversion or this diversive things which they can do in companies. When they are established in multiple nations, then they are called multinational corporations, obviously. This also gives them 50 to 60% cost advantage. And also, as these companies pay more tax to multiple countries, even they will allow to do this. All countries allow to do this generally. So now interlinking production across countries, how this is done. MNCs usually MNCs net worth will be sometimes higher than entire budgets of countries. Consider very small countries like France and consider a very big MNC like Tesla. The the overall revenue of Tesla is always very high than France budget. So they can influence France government. They can influence many things inside France also. So MNCs, what and how will they do things is, first they will come into, for example, we'll consider India. In India, they will buy some company. the existing company which already have some network and going ahead. For example, Mahindra and Mahindra's network is used by Ford. Ford is an American company which came into India, and Mahindra and Mahindra have supported Ford, so they have established a particular setup or the plant in Chennai, and this Chennai became a export hub also later for Ford. So acquire existing company, which means that they will invest something, so that is called as foreign investment, because that is coming from foreign, so that is called as foreign investment for India. And proceed with the existing distribution, they can proceed, or they will change the labels, or they will put the new companies labels. That is how the MNC enter any country. Or there is one more way also. So they will invest in the country, and for example, India, it is there, Ford wants to enter India, and now they'll start to influence the public policy in India. And if India supports the Ford policies, then they will directly establish connection with, directly enter India. This is what happens some kind of a companies like Tesla, they have influenced something, and they are starting in India very soon. That is how it is done. So there are two ways they can acquire an existing company and buy it out completely, or they can also influence the public policy and also enter the thing. Whenever they acquire some existing company, then that company, whichever it is here, they will get the new tech and also economic support to the existing company, so that they will increase their revenue and also the distribution network. So now MNCs also make hubs for export. As I told you, Ford is a Chennai. Ford have Chennai hub which exports to Africa, which exports to Singapore. Ford will export from here as a local distribution or something like that, with the help of the Mahindra and Mahindra. So this interlinks productions across the countries because of the export. That is how a country enters a particular a company enters a particular country. So we are going to talk about the foreign trade and integration of markets here. And this foreign trade, whatever we are talking about, foreign trade is nothing but how we are trading with other countries or MNCs or any other. Basically, a trade is nothing but give and take, right? A trade is nothing but give and take, which we have discussed already. And MNCs here, particularly, for example, if an Indian want to buy something from a France company, then that is called a foreign trade. Or maybe a foreign person want to buy from an Indian company, that is called foreign trade for them. So basically this foreign trade, whatever happens here, and we are going to discuss about that. And also integration, how we are integrating multiple countries markets, we are integrating into, we are integrating multiple companies into all countries. How are we doing this? All this stuff is what we're going to discuss in next 2 minutes. So foreign trade basically is nothing but exporting to other countries, right? For example, if Bihar farmers have produced makhana, and then this makhana is exported to other countries, and this compete with other markets, right? Whenever that makhana enters their market, then the local producers of makhana or any other particular goods or service will compete with this. So now what happens is there will be a competition with multiple producers in that market. Whenever they enter that market, India say we have done something, we have exported maybe cotton, and then this cotton will be given to maybe UK, and UK's market already have their local cotton producers. So now this cotton from India is also the competitor with the local cotton producers. So many types of goods will be available, many alternatives for the same type of goods. Cotton of local market, india's import India's export to UK. And for example, there is this is UK's market, and in UK market you have India's export, China's export, USA's export, and Singapore's export, and something like this, something around this. There will be multiple alternatives for the same goods in the market. And whenever there are more options for pricing, or maybe buyers in the UK market, they will have better prices and a good quality competition. That is what happens when all these markets integrate. Whenever markets integrate, there will be better competition, and quality of product automatically increases because competitiveness among the sellers will increase. So this is same thing happens into the Indian market also. Indian market also we have liberalized because of the same reason. We are going to talk about liberalization and globalization in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you have written your takeaways from this video in the comment section. Also, if you have any doubts, you can definitely mention in the comment section. I will be replying to them, or maybe someone else, whoever knows that particular doubt, will reply, definitely reply to that. Thank you so much for watching. Meet you in the next one.